It's 11 at night, and you're sitting at the kitchen table with your laptop open. There's a deal on that flight to Barcelona you've wanted for months. The price is great. You have the money, but your fingers freeze on the confirm purchase button. Your heart races. Your stomach tightens, and that little voice in your head whispers, "What if something happens? What if you need it later?" You close the laptop once again, because buying that ticket wouldn't make you feel free. It would make you feel irresponsible. And today you'll understand why people who have money live as if they're always on the brink of poverty. If this is you, if you recognize yourself in this moment, you need to know something. You're not cheap. You're not selfish. You're not incapable of enjoying life. You're trapped in what psychologists call scarcity paralysis. And it's when you use accumulation not as wise planning, but as a desperate attempt to control an unpredictable future through a growing number on a screen. Maybe you check your balance 10 times a day. Maybe you deny yourself even basic necessities because they're not essential. Or maybe you mentally calculate every expense before someone even suggests something. And at night, you look at that growing balance and feel nothing, no joy, no security. Just that question that never goes away. What if it's not enough? Psychologists and behavioral economics researchers have discovered something fundamental. There's a huge difference between healthy financial planning and anxious hoarding. One comes from wisdom, the other comes from trauma. And what you have isn't financial prudence. It's an attempt to control chaos using money as an emotional shield. Let's go back to the beginning, because this relationship with money wasn't born yesterday. It probably started when you were 7, 8, maybe 9 years old. You're sitting on the hallway floor and you hear your parents fighting in the kitchen. Not about love, about money. Always about money. The electric bill, the rent, groceries, and you, so small, silently conclude, money causes pain, money destroys families. It's better not to have it than to have it and suffer. Your child's brain had no way to process this rationally, so it created a survival rule. Never relax, never let your guard down because chaos can return at any second. And that rule, which protected you when you were a child, is sabotaging you now that you're an adult. Or maybe it was the opposite. Maybe you grew up with comfort, but you watched your parents lose everything, a bankruptcy, a bad investment, a crisis, and you were there when security collapsed, when stable life became a nightmare overnight. And you promised yourself, this will never happen to me, I'll protect myself, I'll be prepared. Or maybe you never experienced real instability, but you absorbed your parents' fear, generational fear, financial anxiety that passes from parent to child, like an emotional inheritance. And now you carry a fear that isn't even yours, a fear that was planted in you before you even understood what money was. Your brain learned accumulating equals surviving, spending equals risk, relaxing equals danger. And this programming has been running in the background of your mind for decades, without you noticing. From a neuropsychological perspective, here's what's happening inside you. Your nervous system is constantly in alert mode. Not a dramatic alert, a background alert, silent vigilance. It's as if your brain is always waiting for the next financial crisis, even when you rationally know you're safe. Neuroscience research shows that people raised in environments of scarcity or instability develop what's called a scarcity mindset. And this mindset isn't just thinking. It's a physiological response. Your brain literally processes resources, including money, as if it's always in an emergency situation. So when you see your balance grow instead of feeling secure, your brain thinks, great, but what if tomorrow? And that what if never has a satisfying answer, because there's no number that can calm an irrational fear. Your prefrontal cortex, the rational part, can say, you're safe, but your amygdala, the emotional part, screams, it's never enough, danger. And as long as there's conflict between reason and emotion, emotion always wins. And this manifests in ways you might not even fully recognize. You deny yourself basic necessities, those shoes that are already worn out. They'll last a bit longer. That preventive medical checkup. It's not urgent. That course that would develop you. Too expensive, but it's not about the price. It's about permission to invest in yourself. And you don't give yourself that permission. You live in a constant state of later. After I have this amount, then I'll live. After I retire, then I'll travel. After, after, but later is a prison disguised as planning. Your relationships suffer. You're seen as the one who never wants to spend, the boring one who always complains about price, the one who never enjoys anything. And you defend yourself. I'm responsible. They're the irresponsible ones. But the truth is deeper. You're not being responsible. You're being controlled by fear. You work hard, you get raises, you advance, but your quality of life doesn't change because every raise becomes more accumulation, never more life. And the saddest part, you feel guilt in the rare times you allow yourself something. That nice dinner, guilt. That small trip, guilt. Even in moments that should be joyful, there's a voice whispering, "This was irresponsible." And you've already tried to fix this, right? You've already calculated exactly how much you really need for emergencies. You've done the math thousands of times. You've rationally convinced yourself you're safe, but it hasn't worked. Because you're trying to solve something emotional with logic. You've tried to allow yourself to spend. You made that purchase, that trip, and instead of joy, only guilt. Only growing anxiety. Only the urge to compensate by saving even more afterward. You've heard well-intentioned advice. You need to enjoy life. You can't take it with you. Live in the present. And you know, rationally, you agree, but knowing doesn't change feeling. And while this continues, you're paying a price that doesn't appear on any spreadsheet. You're losing experiences that money can buy, but time can't recover. That trip with your kids while they still want to come with you. That moment with friends that won't return. That opportunity that had a deadline. You're accumulating money but losing life. You're building financial security while destroying emotional security. You're gaining numbers in your account but losing presence, connection, memories, joy. And one day, maybe when you retire, maybe when you finally reach that magic number, you'll look back and realize you spent your life preparing to live, but you forgot to live while you were preparing. And here's the truth no one told you. You're not saving money, you're hoarding fear. Every dollar accumulated isn't security. It's an attempt to control the uncontrollable, to guarantee that the chaos of your childhood never repeats itself. But here's the cruel paradox. The more you try to control the future through accumulation, the less control you have over the present. The more you save to feel safe, the less safe you feel. Because real security doesn't come from numbers. It comes from trust. Trust in yourself. Trust that whatever happens, you have internal resources to face it. But you never develop this trust because you've externalized your emotional security to a bank balance. And as long as you do this, no amount will be sufficient. The problem isn't how much you have, it's that you're trying to use money to solve an emotional problem that money can't solve. So if you've recognized yourself here, if you're living in this golden prison, I want you to know something. You're not selfish. You're not cheap. You're not incapable of enjoying life. You're someone who learned to use accumulation as a shield against fear. And it made sense. Your brain was protecting you, but you don't need this protection anymore. Or rather, you need a different protection. Protection that comes from within, from knowing you're capable, from trusting you'll handle it, from understanding that absolute security doesn't exist. And that's okay. It's okay to start slowly. It's okay to feel fear. It's okay for it to be uncomfortable at first. But every time you choose an experience over accumulation, every time you allow yourself to live a little, you're teaching your brain, I'm safe, I can relax. And over time, the fear response diminishes. It doesn't disappear, but it diminishes. And you start to live. Not later. Now. Because in the end, money isn't about numbers. It's about freedom. But not the freedom you imagine. The one that comes from accumulating until you feel secure. It's the freedom to choose based on values, not fear. The freedom to say yes to life, not just no to expenses. The freedom to trust yourself, not just your bank balance. And when you finally understand this, when you stop using money as a shield against anxiety and start using it as a tool for life, something changes. You look at your balance and feel gratitude, not anxiety. You make a purchase and feel joy, not guilt. You live an experience and feel presence, not fear. And maybe for the first time, you realize you were always safe. Not because you had X amount in your account, but because you've always had internal resources to face whatever comes. Money only revealed it, or rather the lack of it was hiding it, and now you're free, not to spend irresponsibly, but to live intentionally, and that's real financial security.